Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our free online information session for the BSc in Information Technology program offered at CTS College in partnership with the University of Bedfordshire. I'm your host, Sanjeev. How are you all doing this morning?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to jump right into the session today, right? So let's have a look at what we have in store for you all today. As a matter of fact, we typically have three individuals or three speakers that's within the session, right? So of course, there's Mr. Ravi Raghunath, who is your executive director of CTS College. He can be reached at the phone number and email address on screen. There's Mr. Aaron Naris, who is the program manager for the Bachelor's in Information Technology program at CTS. He can be reached at that phone number as well as that email address. And then there's me, right? I'm Sanjeev, and I'm your program administrator for the Bachelor's in IT. So we all ideally directly deal with the Bachelor's in IT at CTS College, so you can feel free to contact any one of us, and you should be able to get assistance, not only for the bachelor's degree, of course, but any program at CTS College, we would be able to provide general information about. And of course, if you're looking to send in applications, inquiries specifically for the BSc IT program at CTS College, you can email bsc@ctscollege.com, and anyone, well, actually all of us should be able to receive and respond accordingly. All right, so you can make note of these numbers as well. You can probably take a screenshot of the screen right now and have that saved for later. All right, but we would be in contact from hereafter in terms of the application process, etc. Okay, so moving forward, and I have a question for you guys this morning. So my question to you is, why do people study for a bachelor's degree, right? Why do people pursue bachelor's degree? We're not talking about a BSc in IT or anything business related, but generally, why do you think persons study for a bachelor's degree? You can feel free to unmute your mic or probably post your answers in the chat as well.
um, for job promotion.
Excellent. So for promotional purposes, any other reasons? There's a really, really big one, and a lot of people, look forward to this as well, and that would be the salary increase. So let's actually have a look at an actual list of all of these reasons as well, and why persons would typically study for a bachelor's degree, right? So the first one, of course, is promotion. Like you're working within currently working within an institution, you're looking to rise up in the ranks, so to speak, right? Educational, well, basically further qualifications can assist you in rising up in the ranks, right? Of course, with regards to career change, some persons might be working within one field and they want to switch across to another, right? That bachelor's degree would help you with regards to transitioning into a new career path. In terms of the salary aspect, let's say that you're currently working a specific job role, you pursue a bachelor's degree. With that bachelor's degree likely would come a promotion, and with the promotion, of course, the increased salary. So that's another aspect of it as well. And of course, a lot of individuals seek to become an entrepreneur, start and grow their own business. Having a bachelor's degree is basically putting your foot into the doorway of starting and growing your own business. And of course, for personal achievement, there are a lot of individuals who are very, very experienced, but yet they don't have a bachelor's degree, right? So actually doing a bachelor's degree or pursuing that educational aspect of it now, they can simply state that, I'm doing it for personal achievement, right? Because they have all of that experience with regards to IT. Now, this one is specific to IT though, right? So if you're pursuing a business degree, right, you would develop business skills ideally, but this program, this is a bachelor's in IT. So for sure, once you pursue this program, you get practical experience in information technology. And of course, overall, having a bachelor's degree would increase your chances of being employed in terms of, like the different job aspects there are outside there as well. And of course, IT is so broad, so wide that, there's a lot of opportunities out there with regards to IT. So it does enhance your employability. So these are typically some reasons why persons would study for a bachelor's degree. All right. So what we're going to look at here, specifically one of these here that catches the eye of most individuals or is a motivating factor for most individuals would be the increased salary. So what we're going to look at here is, of course, some sample data, right? And we're going to look at a OJT salary chart, and this is qualification based. So this is on-job training, much more similar to like an intern position. And all figures here to note as well are basically average, right? So all of these are qualification based. So a person possessing some sort of CXC qualifications like CSEC or equivalent, they would typically be working for $3,000 per month, roughly. In terms of persons in possession of a CAPE, like CAPE qualifications or a diploma, they are likely to work for roughly $4,300 per month. Persons with an associate's degree in IT or related field typically work for $5,400 per month. And of course, persons with bachelor's degrees will work for $7,500 per month. Look at that increase from an associate's to bachelor's, or even with from CSEC to bachelor's as well. And of course, we have the next step, which would be the master's degree, which stands at roughly $8,700 per month. And these are all on-job training, right? These are not finalized figures. These are just simply sample data that we're working with, right? But even though it's sample data, and of course, it's just simply average based on our research, it just you can actually see the difference in terms of where the qualifications stand, where exactly which qualification might be better to have in terms of the job aspect of it as well. So if you were to do a bit like look at this a bit closer in terms of comparison, right? And a typical case is where we have a CSEC student or a person in possession of just simply secondary level education, and they want to pursue their bachelor's degree, right? And they want to find out, well, this is an investment. I'm putting my money into this bachelor's degree, right? But like when I head out into the workforce, how much more would I be earning per month or year or even in a lifetime? Let's have a look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare the bachelor's degree figure that we just looked at on the previous slide, which was roughly, I believe, 7,400. And we're going to compare that to the CSEC or CXC qualification base salary, which stands at roughly $3,000. So let's look at that calculation. We're going to take our BSc or the bachelor degree figure, we're gonna subtract the CSEC figure from that, and we're gonna be left with $4,537.50. And this is what you would be earning more at the end of each month with a bachelor's degree versus having just simply CSEC qualifications. But if this is my monthly figure, this is what I'm getting extra on average, because none of these figures are set in stone, right? If this is what I'm earning at the end of my very first month after working on or like working within working at an intern level, having a bachelor's degree, how much more would I earn in 1 year? So we're going to take that same figure we calculated there, which is $4,537.50. We're going to multiply that by 12, right? 12 months in a year. So at the end of your very first year, right, you would be in possession of $54,450 extra. This is in excess, and this alone could cover the total tuition for this bachelor's degree offered at CTS College, provided that you start at all the way at the beginner's level, which is level 4, right? So in just 1 year, and like basically the excess of your salary per year could just simply pay off your BSc, and that's just 1 year, right? So doing a BSc is not a loss for you, right? It's just simply an investment. And at the end of it, you have that knowledge, which is basically your return on your investment. And how much more would you be earning in a lifetime? We're going to take that yearly figure of $54,450 and we're going to multiply that by 40, right? Typically, we use 40 as our lifetime figure, right? Which is more or less reasonable. And we have basically $2,178,000. So this is how much more you will be earning in a lifetime just by simply having a bachelor's degree. And again, all of these figures are average, right? Typically, persons working at intern levels, depending on the position when it comes to IT, like junior programmer, software engineer, etc., right? There are different salaries associated with them, and more than likely, they would be much more than just simply 7,500. They would be closer to probably the double digits, closer to the tens, etc. So these are just simple sample figures that we have here, but still, even though it's sample figures, we can actually see a trend with regards to, the idea of the increased salary aspect. And this is, of course, one of the motivating factors for persons to pursue a bachelor's degree, not only in IT, but generally, right? So if this doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will, but there is something else too that I would like for you guys to look at, and that would be the job aspect of it with regards to the jobs of tomorrow. So this information, this data was actually taken from the World Economic Forum, or the WEF, and they actually suggested that the workforce is automating and it's displacing 85 million jobs in the next 5 years. So job roles in the next 5 years would definitely decrease, especially within IT, or basically there would be a spike in IT roles, like IT specialist roles, and a decrease in those that are not so, IT specialists. So then they are now looking for specialists within a specific area to cover multiple tasks and to have one individual cover one specific task. And there's a lot of individuals that work within an institution. So the COVID-19 recession created a double disruption worker for the scenario for the worker as well. And 43% of the businesses that the WEF interviewed or surveyed, they are now adopting technology integrations, right? And they are now reducing their workforce because of that integration, right? On my right-hand side, or the right-hand side of the slide over there, let me see if I could get my mouse pointer for you guys to probably just, hover over so you guys can see a bit clearer. So on the right-hand side, there's job roles, basically those that are increasing in demand, which is the leftmost column, and then we have the rightmost column, which is decreasing in demand. Now, if we look at those that are increasing in demand, we have data analysts and scientists, we have AI and machine learning specialists, we have big data specialists, digital marketing and strategy specialists, etc. If you look at the decreasing in demand, we have data entry clerks, we have administrative and executive secretaries, we have accounting and bookkeeping, and even payroll clerks as well, and accountants and auditors, etc. Now, there is a trend here, and I want to see who can point this trend out for me. Anyone can see the trend? Look at those that are increasing in demand and look at those that are decreasing in demand. Anything that you all can specifically point out for me? I would say it's quite evident, right? Because if we look at those that are increasing in demand, we would actually see that there's some keywords being used, right? And those keywords are specialists, right? If we look at this job role here, we have AI and machine learning specialists, we have big data specialists, we have digital marketing specialists, professionals, analysts, developers, specialists, etc. Right? These are professional roles, right? These are the result of having higher level qualifications. Looking at those that are decreasing in demand, we have data entry clerks, we have administrative and executive secretaries and clerks, and things that these are smaller roles, and these are managed by one individual for one specific thing. The idea is that most businesses are now trying to adopt in terms of their business model is that they are now looking at probably cutting back on the amount of workers that they have employed and hiring one specialist who can implement a system to get their work done a bit more efficiently, in terms of the time, in terms of like the possibility of human error. These are all factored out, not entirely, but it's still factored out to a certain aspect as well. And given that that is the case, they have less salaries to pay. They just simply pay the salary of one or two specialists working within the IT department, and they should cover all issues, all problems with regards to the upkeeping of their systems and all of that. Whereas they have multiple different individual roles that they have to pay. At the end of each month, they have to pay different salaries as well. So it's actually a bit more profitable for them, right? And of course, they would look towards doing that within the next 5 years, as the WEF stated, right? So this is the job aspect of it as well. And for a lot of you thinking that, well, maybe this is just simply applying to the US or the UK or those bigger cities, countries, etc., all over there, you're wrong. Because right now in Trinidad and Tobago, it is actually happening. And this is actually some examples of it happening right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So here's an example, right? We have Massy Stores. They actually have an online service where you can purchase your goods online, have it delivered to you. You can actually pay using PayPal, your credit card, whatever the case might be. You have your MasterCard as well. Your points are collected. So it's like you're shopping from the comfort of your own home, right? So that's one example. We also have another example, which is a bit probably one of the more famous ones as well. We have the KFC online service for delivery, pickup, etc. Right? You set your location, you order your food, you either drive in, have it picked up at the nearest branch, or of course you can have it delivered to you. And of course your payment can be done, or transactions can be done online as well, right? So that's another example. And of course, one that isn't recognized as much, we have an online service coming from TTPS, that's the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, right? And of course, instead of visiting your nearest police station, let's say that you're probably not in the vicinity of a police station, you can make a report online, have it submitted, and have someone look into it, right? Not having to, inconvenience yourself to head down to the station, right? Should there be any issues or anything like that. So these are all examples, and there's a whole lot more, right? A lot of persons are looking into e-commerce solutions for their businesses, etc., rather than having walk-in customer service and stuff like that. So given that this is the case, and we're actually seeing how the demand in IT is now at its highest, and it actually would likely increase, seeing that we're heading a bit more on the technological side in terms of our everyday lives. So I know for sure that this has to be another big motivating factor for persons as well, right? So if we were to shift our focus now, so we understand clearly, typical reasons why persons would study for a bachelor's degree. We actually had a look at the salary aspect, we had a look at the job aspect, we have a look at, some of the changes that has been happening around us in terms of the technological integration, right? So how does that relate to your BSc, right? So let's have a look. A little bit of backstory as well before we even get deeper into the modules and stuff like that, right? So let's have a bit of information with regards to why study with the University of Bedfordshire. Now, the University of Bedfordshire, of course, is the university that you're doing your bachelor's degree through. So ideally, us here at CTS College, we are partnered with the University of Bedfordshire. We offer also the MBA program with 7 different specializations as well with the University of Bedfordshire, in addition to our BSc in IT, right? So we offer numerous programs with this university, right? And a bit of information about them as well, right? They are a modern, innovative university with a heritage of top quality education going back for more than a century or 100 years, right? So they've been in the education game, so to speak, for quite some time. They actually have more than 20,000 students from over 120 countries. They have 5 campuses in the UK: Luton, Bedford, Potteridge, etc. They have education partners in China, the Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago. The internationally renowned league table has placed Bedfordshire in the top 6% of the best universities in the world. So they are highly ranked and, of course, globally recognized with their programs and bachelor's degrees, etc. And the University of Bedfordshire actually won the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2013, which is considered to be the highest form of national recognition for universities within the UK. So that's a bit of background of the University of Bedfordshire, right? So we're doing the program. You as a student, you are enrolling in their program, right? We are delivering their modules to you, but your bachelor's degree would come from the University of Bedfordshire. Your transcript and letter of completion would come from the University of Bedfordshire. So why study with CTS College then, right? So the University of Bedfordshire had the program tailored specifically for our students, right? We have a fixed timetable, our modules rotate, we have special prices as well, much reduced prices, I should say, in terms of the university fees for the exams and assignments, whatever the case might be, right? So a bit of information about CTS College, and our motto is where basically the education is taken beyond the academics, right? So our mission is to provide high quality and relevant educational opportunities whilst promoting excellence in both staff and students. Our institution is a private institution with over 22 years in the education industry. We are ACTT, a recognized, and CTS College offers a wide range of programs all the way from preschool straight up to your diploma to your MBA. So we offer primary, secondary. We also have high school diplomas with other institutions as well. And of course, we have a wide range of professional development programs like short courses, DIY, business certifications, other smaller IT certifications such as A+, Network Plus, CCNA, etc. All right, so we cover a wide range of topics as well in relation to business and computer science. A bit of our achievements as well. I like to call this a little bit of our bragging page. Now, we are actually the winner of over 106, probably 107, I believe, right? ABE World Prizes since 2007. We actually are also the winner of 47 university awards with the University of Hertfordshire. That's another university that we've partnered with currently and we're offering programs with as well. We are actually also the winner of 2 ABMA Academic Achievement Awards, and we also won awards with ACTT, which is the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. We won 11 awards from them. We got 6 for student support services, 3 for excellence, 4 in an established QMS, and 2 for excellence in both teaching and learning. So we've been out there, right, for quite some time. We've had experience with delivering bachelor's degrees as well. On that note, right, we're going to look at specifically our experience with delivering the BSc in IT or the bachelor degree program, right? So we have over 15 years experience with delivering specifically BSc programs, right? Our average pass rate stands at 90% per module, and that's all throughout the program, throughout the various different levels as well. We typically have over 2,000 applicants by now, and our in terms of the graduates and the graduation aspect of it as well, over 1,750 BSc graduates have successfully completed this program as well. And out of that figure, 500 or a bit more than that by now, definitely 500 first class honors from that 1,750 figure. And of course, our graduates are employed within various sectors and in various industries at various levels. So this is a big aspect of it as well. And a big question for a lot of you, because most persons here are looking towards the career change, if anything. So they are now asking themselves, if I were to migrate with this bachelor's degree, would I be able to hold down a position probably in Canada or even, probably somewhere in the US or maybe the UK? Yeah, you definitely can, right? And this is not just us saying that you can, it's based on experience as well, because a lot of our students as well in the past had moved on to Canada. We had students migrate all the way across to the UK. We had a couple of students within countries like I believe New Zealand, etc. Right, and it was accepted all over the world, so it's internationally recognized, right? So just a little bit of our our pass rates, etc. Right, so these are some of our modules. Like this is for one specific semester as well, right, for the semester that just had gone, right? These are the results that we would have actually gotten for each module. So you can actually see here now our level 4 modules are in blue, our level 5 and level 6 are respectively in orange and green. And you can have a look at our pass rate. You can actually look at the grade ranges as well, right? So the majority of our class actually scores within the 70 to 100% range, right? Which gives us that 96 and 99% pass rate for the level 4 modules respectively. And we have level 5, again, the majority falling within that 70 to 100% range, and we have 95 and 92% respectively for each one of the modules as well at level 5. At level 6, we had a phenomenal level of performance from our students as well. See, now this is the final year of the bachelor's degree, and again, majority of our students within that 70 to 100% pass range, which gave us 100% pass rates for all three modules for level 6 that we offered within that specific semester, right? And if we look at the highest marks as well, right, not only to see that these students scored within the 70 to 100% range, look at these marks. We have like 99, 97 for level 4. We have 85 and 92 respectively for level 5. We have 85, 82, and 86 as well for the level 6 modules, which is spectacular, right? And we're constantly trying to see who can break those barriers, right? And we trust that you would definitely be able to as well. So that's a little bit of insight with regards to us and our experience with delivering the BSc in IT in terms of our pass rates and our students' performance and stuff like that. Now, a bit closer about the features of our BSc program. Now, this program offered through the University of Bedfordshire is globally accessible, it's work applied, it's accelerated, affordable, and fully accredited. So we're gonna have a look at specifically fully accredited. Now, the accredited aspect of it, right? Now, both the program itself is actually accredited by the Quality Assurance Agency, or QAA, which is more or less the equivalent of what ACTT is in Trinidad. So it's an accreditation council that conducts audits on university to make sure all is well with the programs and, of course, the university in terms of the quality assurance. So the University of Bedfordshire was actually subjected to a QAA review and successfully met the expectations as well. They are, I believe, if not annually reviewed, they are reviewed regularly as well to ensure that the standard is still upkept. And we have the University of Bedfordshire being recognized as an awarding body by ACTT in Trinidad as well. So you're covered within Trinidad and, of course, internationally as well, right? So definitely, again, you are fully covered. So it is internationally recognized, globally recognized. I can't state this any other ways as well, right? So you definitely can take this and head out into the US, into Canada, into the UK, probably anywhere in the world, and still be able to present a bachelor's degree that is recognized to an employer, right? And of course, this is what your BSc IT certificate would look like coming from the University of Bedfordshire. This one belongs to Mr. Aaron Norris, your program manager, who was actually, you know, one of the recent graduates as well from this program. So this is ideally what you would be given at the end of the completion of the program, together with your transcripts outlining the grades for the modules, etc., and of course, a completion letter as well, right? So those are the items that you would be receiving as your award. In terms of globally accessible, right, we did cover some of these points as well when we were looking at a bit of history with the University of Bedfordshire, but just to reiterate, we have, or the University of Bedfordshire has over 20,000 students from over 120 countries. They have education partners in China, Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago. They have an online learning environment called Brio, and it's available 24/7 from anywhere in the world. Once you become a student of the University of Bedfordshire, you are actually given access to Brio. So you are assigned a unique student ID, and you must make sure that you keep track of that ID and all of your assignments. Everything is actually running through Brio. They set your assignments. You're expected to keep track of everything using Brio as well, right? But that's a bit closer to when you get accepted and stuff like that. That's way after the application process, all right? So there also is a student information desk, or what we call SID, that's also open 24/7 to support students from anywhere in the world. So if there's an issue that we can't solve from CTS College, we would push it to SID, and they should be able to assist us in solving that issue. So let's say that there's some sort of issue with you and your login for Brio and stuff like that, or your student ID, there can be assistance that we get like timely responses for as well, right? So you ideally would be liaising directly with the university in some cases, but most of the times we are able to resolve any minor issues, etc., with our communication to the university. In addition to this as well, right, we usually centralize all of the university content on a Google Shared Drive. This is specific to CTS, and we have recordings, books, materials for level 4, 5, and 6 of our program that you don't have to pay any additional fees for, right? It's all covered. There's no additional cost for any books or anything like that. It's all all provided by the University of Bedfordshire. And of course, we tailor those lectures to give to you as well, assist you with your assignments as well. And of course, if there's any need to, do extra sessions and stuff like that with students, like one-on-one basis, right? Totally free, of course, as well. There's no study fees or anything like that, right? It's just simply us trying to make sure that you have the wealth of information at your side once you're doing your assignments and stuff like that. All right. So that should cover you in terms of globally accessible. In terms of practicality or practical aspect of the BSc program, right? Our program, or the BSc in IT program, solves real IT challenges. What do I mean by that, right? You get hands-on experience of developing IT systems, that's one. You have experience in delivering IT solutions that support a wide range of business functions. You learn to develop systems with excellent design through understanding human-computer interaction required in modern IT systems as well, right? So you are typically using your knowledge, your experience, your capabilities, your technical skills to solve real IT challenges within our IT or tech savvy environment, whether it be your work environment, home, whatever the case might be. Now, an example of how this is done in our BSc programs, you're probably wondering, well, how do I get the soft skills or technical skills to solve real IT challenges that support a wide range of business functions? How do I do that, right? It's basically done through our assessments. The way that you are assessed is basically through assignments, through group work, through proposals, through development, etc. So it's a lot more practical. It's a lot more work that you actually have to do rather than sit into an exam, etc. You may have exams, but those would be accounting for the minority of the entire module, whereas the actual assignment, like written assignments and stuff that you have to program, applications that you have to build, etc., would be marked a bit more heavily for overall for the unit. And this is an example of one of those assignments. So we had a student who actually proposed a fleet management system, a fleet management solution for public transportation service, PTSC of Trinidad and Tobago. So they recognized a problem with PTSC in Trinidad, and they actually, probably use that as a topic, and they proposed a fleet management system or solution to the problem that PTSC is currently facing, right? And this student ideally would have scored really high. So you are basically given the opportunity in some cases to identify real IT issues or real business problems, and and of course propose an IT related solution to solve that problem in support of the business function, right? And this is a typical example of that being done through an assignment as well. And this is a level 6 assignment, I believe, right? So moving further to the accelerated aspect of it, which we did touch on, right, a little bit, but a bit further into it as well. Each level, now, just to be clear, our program has 3 different levels. We have level 4, level 5, and level 6. Now, you can start at any one of these levels directly, right? But it all depends on your qualifications, work experience, dependent, and the university, of course, would have to approve of the level that you apply for. And after that, of course, you will be claimed, you'll be tagged as accepted, and we'll take you through the process from there. But the fact of the matter is, each one of these levels, 4, 5, and 6, they have 4 modules, 4 units, 4 subjects probably that you like to refer to them as, anyone that's comfortable to you, but ideally we use the words module or unit. There are 4 of these in each level that can be done in 2 semesters or 8 months. So we have timetables that are pre-planned for you, right? So there's no chance of you doing one module in one semester for 4 months, right? You will be doing 2 units or 2 modules per semester. So your first semester, you're doing 2 units, and your second semester, you're doing 2 units, right? Each semester is 4 months long, so it would take you roughly 8 months to complete all 4 units for the level. So you could complete level 4 in 8 months, level 5 in 8 months, level 6 in 8 months. And of course, there's breaks in between, right? So I'll actually show you graphically what that looks like for you in terms of the time aspect. But typically, each level consists of 4 units, which can be done in 2 semesters or 8 months. And you can complete your bachelor's degree in just over 2 years, starting at level 4. If you start at level 5, of course, it's going to take you a bit, it's not going to take you as long. And of course, level 6 is just simply 8 months if you start directly at level 6, right? Which we would explore a bit later on, right? So in terms of the affordability of this program, right, the BSc IT, the UOB BSc IT is probably one of the more affordable BSc IT programs in Trinidad. Our payment plans as well that we have proposed, well, so we do actually have payment plans for you all. Typically, this is something that, is not done with a lot of educational institutions out there that are offering foreign programs. So we want to make sure that, it's best suited for you, right? So we have pre-planned packages or pre-planned solutions to solutions for payment plans and stuff like that we would propose to you. And of course, it's dependent on whether you want to follow that. You want to have something a bit more specific to you, something a bit personalized that we do on case-to-case basis. So there's that option as well. And of course, we also partner with institutions such as JMMB to assist students in obtaining student loans and stuff like that. So the way that works is that you simply go through the banking process in obtaining a loan. And of course, you have those funds allocated to your tuition fees as well. And from there, you'll just simply be paying your bank on their terms, not ours. So there's also that option as well. If the duration of the program as well, think something happens as well, you never know, right? But the option is there for the students as well. If they need that opportunity, if they need that assistance, we can assist you in obtaining that student loan, since we are partnered with GMMB. All right. So a bit further into how this program is structured, which we were touching on a little bit just now with regards to, okay, well, there's 2 units and how long it would take to complete and stuff like that. Let's have a look specifically at the levels, right? So level 4, which is year 1, which consists of 4 modules for 4 subjects or 4 units, as you may want to call them, is ideal for CAPE holders or persons who possess 2 years IT work experience or IT certifications, or at least 3 years general work experience together with CSEC. So if you're using CSEC qualifications, you need at least like 2 to 3 years general work experience for your application to be considered. If you have CAPE qualifications, it's much easier for you to get into the program, no questions asked. If you have no qualifications and IT work experience and maybe a couple of IT certs as well, you still can apply and get through as well. So after that, now your next level would be level 5, and that will be considered to be year 2, and again 4 units. So you need a level 4 IT diploma or equivalent, or at least 2 years IT work experience together with IT certs in order to start directly at level 5. All right. And of course, level 6, which is the final year, the requirements are an associate's, an HND, or level 5 equivalent IT diploma, or at least 6 years IT work experience together with IT certs. So if you don't have associates and HND or level 5 IT diploma, right, and you have a lot of work experience in IT and you have a bunch of certificates as well that are related to IT, you still stand a really good chance at applying and getting through for level 6 as well, right? So these are the 3 levels. A bit about the entry requirements. We're going to re-explore those entry requirements a bit later as well, right? So what we're going to look at now graphically, of course, is the structure. If you start at level 4, how long would it take for you to complete your BSc? So at level 4, again, we have semester 1 of 4 months, and then we have semester 2 of another 4 months. So ideally, it should take you 8 months to complete level 4, and then you can move on to level 5, which has 1 semester of 4 months, and the second semester of 4 months. Again, 8 months for level 5. And then you move on to level 6 from level 5. Again, 2 semesters of 4 months each, 8 months in total. Now, in between each one of these levels, there's a mandatory semester break specified by the University of Bedfordshire that each student must undergo. So ideally, how this works is that once you start this program, you complete your first semester, you are allowed to pass on to your second semester. You complete this level of study, you complete your first 8 months in the program, semester 1 and 2, or 4 modules. Before you move on to level 5, you must be placed on a mandatory 4-month break in between level 4, level 5, and then when you complete level 5, before you move on to level 6, another 4 months. So ideally, you have 2 years of studies, 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, and then you have these break periods in between here, which total up to 8 months of break. So ideally, if you start this program at level 4, right, it should take you 2 years, 8 months to complete the program. So you're starting at level 4, progressing all the way to level 6 and completing 2 years, 8 months, right? So that's the time aspect for level 4 to 6. We also have the time aspect from level 5 to 6. So again, structure remains the same. 2 semesters, 4 months each, 8 months in total. And then again, level 6, 2 semesters, 4 months each, 8 months in total. Now, in between these 2 semesters, if you start at level 5 directly, before you move on to level 6, the rule of thumb is you have 4 months mandatory semester break in between these levels. And of course, it takes you 16 months of studies, 8 months here, 8 months here, right? So these are actually semesters and stuff that you're studying within, and then the 4 months break as well, right? So 16 months of studies, 4 months of break. So it should ideally take you 20 months to complete the program starting at level 5, right? Of course, if you start directly at level 6, 2 semesters, 4 months each, 8 months in total, 8 months of studies, you complete the program in 8 months, no break at all. Because why? You start directly at level 6. There's no level for you to progress on to. So you just simply complete in 8 months, get your bachelor's degree after 8 months. All right. So that's the time aspect from level 4 to level 6. Then we had level 5 to level 6. Then we had just simply level 6. All right. So is there any question with regards to these? Probably anyone wants to raise or anything like that?
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. After you complete level 4, do you get a certificate?
All right. So
Or
that's a common.
just some kind of, does each level have a certificate of completion?
No, the reason why is because it's not done as individual diplomas, right? It's actually a
Oh,
full
okay.
scale degree. So what happens is that you can get something to show that you're within the program and these are the modules you
One in
completed.
Ireland.
Yeah, so you get the opportunity to actually see what it is was done, right? So you get something from the university as well. You can actually download it yourself. Once you become a student, you have your student access to Braille and stuff like that. There's something called eVision. You can go onto that portal, you can download your results slip after each level, and it would reflect clearly the modules that you would have completed and the official grades next to them. Or I shouldn't say official, these are basically discussed at like board meetings with the university as well to ensure that the marking process is all well and there's no errors in terms of the marking process and stuff like that, right? Just to perform a bit of moderation. So at that point, you can still have something in the interim to present to employers, or of course, you like simply state that you're currently pursuing your bachelor's degree and you're at like my second year, or basically my second level within the study as well. And of course, if you need any official documentation from CTS College to reflect this as well, we will be ready and available to assist you in issuing letters to clarify or to prove that you are a student with us as well as a student with the University of Bedfordshire. We can have a list of your grades thus far as well to present to employers or for job opportunities and stuff like that, because persons as well, they are typically asking for this type of thing, and it's not uncommon. A lot of students have done this in the past, and a lot of them, based on what we would have provided and what they have access to from the university, they would have hold on positions as well while doing the program. So it did work out for a lot of individuals as well. But for actually like presented with a diploma after completing each level, unfortunately, no, right? That is not done with the University of Bedfordshire. At the end of the program, so you must complete level 4, 5, and 6. At the end of level 6, that's when you'll be getting your rewards or your award, which will be your certificate, which is the bachelor's degree, and you will be getting your completion letter and official transcript with your grades reflected there as well, right? So everything is signed up and stuff like that, sent to us, and then we would issue it to you. Cool, no problem. So right, so during this break period, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, right? I'm also a student within this program, and something to note about this program as well. During that break period, you tend to lose a bit of your momentum, and it's like it's not it's not ideal for most students to see, right? Because for most students, they would prefer to progress and complete. But since the university mandated that these breaks have to be there, right? We have proposed a couple of things that you can do during your break period. So one of these things actually is some IT certifications that we have here at CTS College. So any program or any short course at CTS College that you are interested in doing during your 4-month break period as well, right? Being a BSc IT student, you are entitled to 40% off any short course at CTS College once you start it within that break period. So you have the opportunity to do something during the break period as well, and you can get it discounted, and you can even get further discounts on this as well, right? So in order to view our wide range of certification courses as well, you can visit ctscollege.com/certifications. You have the opportunity to view our business, our IT, our professional development and DIY courses as well. And you can pick from these. Now, if you're not interested in doing another course and you want to, keep your momentum going throughout the program, another thing that a lot of students do within this program is that you have access to all of our content. We make sure that you have, so like a level 4 student have access to level 5 and level 6 work, right? So during this break period, you can actually sit into classes when we have no problem. We actually encourage students to sit into classes in their next level. So you just completed level 4, for example, you're now going on your semester break for 4 months, right? And you're starting level 5 after that. You can actually be allowed to sit into some level 5 classes. Some students are actually attempted the assignment and of course waited until they actually enrolled for that semester and then they submitted it because half of the work was already done. So they actually breezed through the semester, right? So the idea is, right, we have a lot of things that you can do during the break period as well. So anything that you're interested in, whether you're interested in doing another short course at CTS College or you're looking at possibly, studying ahead, those are pretty much the options that we have for you to do during that break period to make sure that you don't lose that momentum, all right? So I saw that someone's hand was just up. Ariel, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Question?
Actually, you pronounced the name correctly. You're right there. My question is, I noticed that the level 5 was mainly the programming sections. I'm guessing that the knowledge you gain from that level would help you complete the assignments for level 6. So I was wondering if you had a course outline so persons could know what they should know if they feel they have the ability to do level 6. What prerequisite knowledge they should have before
knowledge is not a
attempting a
problem.
level.
I understand the question, but knowledge is not the problem. The reason why is because in most cases, or in all cases, right, we always treat our students as if they know absolutely nothing on the topic. So students who start directly at level 6, even though they have an associate, so they have that level of education based on their previous qualifications or work experience, we actually treat with them as if they know absolutely nothing on the topics that we have to cover based on the syllabus for level 6, for level 5, for level 4, whatever the case might be, right? So let's say that you start at level 5, you're not missing out on anything if you didn't do level 4, right? The levels are not dependent on each other in terms of the modules and stuff like that, right? You don't need to do level 4 in order to do level 5. You start directly at level 5, you treat it as own thing, right? The lectures are delivered to you in such a way that you're treated as if you're brand new, you know absolutely nothing on the topic. So we take you from the ground up, right? And then of course you would move over to your next level, etc. So in terms of pre-knowledge, it's not dependent. You don't have to depend on your pre-knowledge in order to complete this program, right? We treat our students as if they know absolutely nothing, and we take them from the ground up, right?
Okay.
But if you would like a module outline, like in terms of what would be covered in each level as well, specifically, I could have that email to you as well. All right.
Yeah, that is what I was looking for.
No problem.
A course outline. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can have for all of the levels as well, all of the modules. I could probably send a listing for you guys, right? Question from person, well, the participant named Galaxy G7. I've seen the hand raised.
Yeah, one more question I had is that the advertisement had straight from CFC. You can do but I'm seeing if they can start at level 4.
Correct.
But I'm seeing they need experience and they need to be doing the a year working experience.
Correct. Now, these are for persons who are using CSEC qualifications to apply. But if, we have students fresh out of CSEC with no work experience, we have actually something on this side that we are currently using to get the students to meet that qualifying standard to enter directly at level 4, which is the bridging program. And it's actually running right now, but it's a cycle starting in January, February, around there, right? So there's formal induction for that as well. And it would be covered a bit later on in the session if you want to stick around for it as well, right? But information will be sent across etc. So ideally how it works, there's 5 courses that we would basically introduce you all, and it's based on the modules of level 4. So you get some brief introduction or insight into what you'll be covering at level 4 in the BSc. However, we assess it differently in terms of each week you have an assignment that's due. It's much more on the practical side, and you get to choose how much courses you want to do as well, right? And I'll run through the course with you as well, and it would be emailed afterwards, after the session as well, in terms of the starting dates of each course, our formal induction, and of course the price range as well. But ideally we're looking at $1,000 per course. If you're looking to do all 5 together within one cycle, you can get it for $3,500 in total, for all 5 courses. So it's dependent on what you'd like to do as well. All right, so we can have it discounted if you want to do all 5. If not, you're doing one by one, it'll be $1,000 each. So that's another thing as well. So I left that for way down at the end of the session as well. Yeah, so the currency, TT. So our bridging program is totally TT. The BSc in IT is actually a mixture of the pounds, like the like foreign fees as well, and some tuition for CTS college that is paid in TT as well. We're gonna run through the cost aspect in a little bit as well, so you actually see. And we're gonna look at the total cost, and we're gonna look at the payment plans as well, the payment plan structure for each level moving forward. All right, so in terms of what will be covered at each level. So level 4, year 1, you have a bit of insight into networking, right? So there's some modules that we cover in relation to networking. So you have IP addressing, IPv4, IPv6, you have setting up of switches, routers, building of networks, etc. The basics. We have introduction to SQL or SQL, as some person would call it, which is the structured query language, which is used for the development of databases. So you'll be introduced to the aspect of database administration. You have the ability to design and develop databases and use it to store information in real time, communicating with applications, stuff like that. And you will work with Oracle, Apex, you would work with Oracle itself, and of course, Java and Python programming languages at level 4, right? Not so much Microsoft Access, that is now removed, right? The focus is, of course, now Oracle, Java programming language, and Python. You are doing networking as well, right? High level networking, and of course SQL for databases, right? So the Microsoft aspect, Microsoft Access aspect is currently removed, right? Because it's not as relevant as it was in the past. In terms of level 5, you have a lot of experience with regards to user experience design, right? So prototyping, design aspect of your application is actually covered there. And of course, how your design would work on different devices. So you might have like an application that works or basically is compatible for mobile devices or, you know, desktops, etc. So we have a bit of introduction of how software and hardware can work together and develop the systems development aspect of it as well. A bit further into SQL and database administration and stuff like that. And of course, the testing process, testing software, building software. We introduce students into web development here as well. So you have the ability to start building or start looking at building e-commerce solutions and stuff like that, right? So you focus on the design aspect, you focus a bit further into the development aspect as well, right? And of course, we have a specific module that covers the work or the job aspect or the interview room, because a lot of students, you know, after completing their bachelor's degree, at the end of it, right, they have all of this qualification, all of this knowledge, all of this, you know, technical skills and stuff like that. But putting it out in front of an employer may be a challenge for some students. So there's actually a module that prepares you for that at level 5. At level 6, there is independent learning through project work, and you learn new research techniques on emerging technologies. You have a project called the undergraduate project, which is probably the most anticipated project by most students once you become a student of the BSc, right? So ideally, you have like full stack development. You have the ability to create, well, we're encouraging students to build an e-commerce solution, right? So some students went as far as implementing chatbots within their solution and stuff like that. And to actually show you what some of these look like, right? Just to show you what some of these look like. This is an example of a student building a digital wallet. So this is their login screen. This is their this is their homepage for the digital wallet as well, right? And they created prototypes for mobile devices as well. And this here is another example of a completely different project as well. This is an e-commerce solution, much similar to what Amazon could look like. It's actually an art supply store. Right, so there's the name of the store is of course Craft 868, and the student has a bunch of items on sale. There's cart the user can actually add items to their cart, add to their wish list, etc. Right, they can search for items, log in, log out, the basics. And of course the student went as far as implementing a chatbot. So like if you experience any issues while going through with your typical day's commute, right, you can get assistance in real time from some sort or some level of administration, right? So that's this here is the same project as well. This is their admin panel as well in terms of like editing profiles and stuff within the application itself, right? So these are some of the these are just some of the projects that some students have worked on. And honestly, I would be really like delighted to see that these are the things that I would be able to create once I complete this program, right? Or I would be able to create whilst doing this program. It's a really good motivating factor for me as well. All right. So how can you fit this BSc into your life? Now, typically we have 2 intake periods per year, right? The reason why we're saying 2, we usually have a June semester, right? So we have February, June, and October. But in the future, we are looking at, well, the university is looking at typically removing this intake period entirely. So we're starting to prepare students with the mindset of that. If you're looking to apply, it's for either February or October. Now, next year, if you're looking to apply next year, June, right, you still can. However, level 4 applicants will not be considered, only level 5 and level 6. In the following year, it would be only level 6. And after that, there would be no intake period there at all. So that's why we removed it entirely, but only like from next year, it's only level 5 and level 6 that's being accepted at June. In the next year, only level 6, and in the year after that, no applicants will be accepted at the June intake period, and that's when it will be completely removed. So we're working with right now February and October, 2 intake periods per year, but we still have 3 semesters per academic year, and that would be from February to May, June to September, and October to January the next year, right? So that's your 3 semesters per academic year, right? So even though we don't have an intake period, doesn't mean it wouldn't have a semester. Once you're enrolled, you would still be required to sit into your classes and stuff for that particular semester in June. It's just that no new applicants would be accepted into the program there, right? So nothing to worry about in terms of your progression and stuff like that, right? So the stuff that we would have ran through in terms of the timeline early on with the breaks and stuff like that, that still applies, right? So in terms of your unit or subject delivery, right? All of our sessions, all of our classes are 2 hours long. They are actually recorded. So if you happen to miss one, you have the opportunity to review your recording. And of course, the recording is sent to you via email after class by your lecturer together with the notes. It's stored on a drive and you have the opportunity to revisit it there and review the work that was given on that particular day and reach out to the lecturer if there's any issue, any problems or anything like that. If you don't get your lecturer, we are the next line of defense coming in to save you from any further issues. So you can contact us if you don't get your lecturer, and we will be able to cover a couple of things as well, whether it be an assignment question or something in relation to the contents, right? And of course, our semester is typically, well, 4 months long, 15 weeks, right? So some semesters are a bit shorter than others, some are a bit longer, but we're trying to, well, basically our average like timeline that we work with for semester is 15 weeks. All right. So we have our units being assessed by 2 to 3 assignments typically. Now, I wouldn't say 3 assignments, I would say 2 assignments on a case-to-case basis. So sometimes there's an assignment with part A, part B, right? Some assignments is just simply assignment 1 and assignment 2. But each module, you have 2 to 3 assignments depending on the module as well. So let's say that you're a level 4 student and you're in your first semester, you're doing your first 2 units, you would have two assignments for unit 1 and then 2 assignments for unit 2, right? So you'll have 4 assignments in total, assignment 1 and assignment 2, right? Assignment 1s are typically weighted 30% of the module, assignment 2s are 70%. So your assignment 2 is ideally the much more important one, but here's the thing, we need you to pass everything in order for you to progress, right? Now, at the end of your semester, there's typically like a little 2-week little break period. So we're not talking about the big semester break here. We're talking about like when you just finish a semester before the next one starts, it's typically like a little 2 weeks for you to clear any outstanding fees and for us to prepare for the new semester as well, issuing the new timetable and stuff like that, and getting our lecturers prepared for the new line of line of subjects that we have to offer. So there's a little 2-week break at the end of each semester, right? So in terms of our timetable for the new semester that's beginning next year, right? These are the subjects that we are offering, and these are the days of classes and the times of classes as well that we have for this semester. So at level 4, you would have 1 class on a Saturday. You would have 2 classes on weekdays, and the classes on weekdays are from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. and on Saturdays it's from 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. Now, you would notice something here. You would see that on Tuesdays, you have a class from 6 to 8 for fundamentals of computer science, and you would have Wednesday class for the same module, but it's not 2 different modules. It's just that this module is so big and it covers 2 main areas. We have to have 2 different classes to cover this entire module, right? So one class would cover one certain aspect out of it, and the next class would cover a different aspect out of it as well, right? So these are one of the modules where you would have an assignment 1A and assignment 1B, or assignment 2A and 2B, depending on the module, right? Since there's 2 different classes. So it's one of those modules, right? But still, at the end of the day, you're doing 2 modules: introduction to software development, which is Python programming, and then you have fundamentals of computer science as well, right? So you have 2 modules, but there's 3 days of classes for you. And this is for both new and continuing students in level 4 in the new semester in February next year. Well, January next year. Our new and continuing students at level 5 would both have classes on a Saturday, right? And these are the 2 units that you will be doing. So your first class will be 10:15 to 12:15 p.m. And then from there, you'll have a half an hour break. And then your second class would start at 12:45 and run until 2:45. And that should be it for you. So you have 1 day of class, but it's typically almost considered to be a whole day class, right? And of course, the same lecture for both classes. At level 6, you would see like for here example, you have new and continuing students in level 4, new and continuing students in level 5. In level 6, we do things a bit differently. In level 6, our continuing students would ideally have completed a couple of the modules that the new students are currently doing. So we can't mix them with the new students, otherwise they would be doing over a module that they would have already done. So for new students, for you all, everyone who's in this meeting, once you're applying for level 6, these are your 2 modules: advanced information technology and research methodologies and emerging technologies. And these 2 classes, well, the first one will run from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then the second one, you'll have a half an hour break between these. And then the second one will start from 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. All right. And of course, you have our executive director lecturing for that module as well, right? And of course, our continuing students, the reason why we split it as well, if we look here, right, we have research methodologies being offered here for the new students, but these students who already continue, and they would have already done that module, so they don't need to do it over. They need to do their undergraduate project. So that's why we have it separated. New students would do this module and advanced information technology. The continuing students would do their undergraduate project and the advanced information technology, since they already completed the research methodologies, right? So you do need to concern yourself with this, but I felt like the need to explain it as well, so there's no further confusion. So you're not concerned with the continuing students listing. You're concerned with the new students in level 6 listing if you're a level 6 applicant, right? So these are, well, this is the timetable. Of course, the registration deadline is next week, Friday, and we are looking at having our induction at the 14th and the 18th of January. You must attend both sessions. Of course, the semester starts on the 21st of January, and the semester typically would end around May 5th. All right. So that's our, well, this is our timetable. Not set in stone as yet. If there's any changes, we'll have to reissue it to you guys, but this is what we're working with tentatively. I don't think that there will be any changes, but we just have to, keep it in mind that there is the possibility of changes, and we will notify you in advance, of course, of the changes. All right. So what support is available at CTS College? Now, specifically at the University of Bedfordshire, you have a lot of support. And when I mean a lot, you have course advisors, academic support, administrative support, online support through Brio, where study materials, study support guides, grades, feedback, submission of assignments all take place. You have access to your online library where you have journals, readings, papers, complementary resources, whatever the case might be, that's available to you. And as a student, you'll get access to your student email account. So you can actually log into digital libraries online, totally free, of course, since you're studying at an international university, you would have exclusive access to some online libraries as well, like ACM and ResearchGate and stuff like that, like all of those resource banks and stuff like that. You have free free university access or student access to those as well. And of course, being a student, you also get a student package with Microsoft Office where you get like access to Word, PowerPoint, I believe Excel as well. So you get the essentials to get your work done if you don't have access to an official or a legit copy of Microsoft Office. All right, so that's provided. Once that's standard across all students, you will get access to it as well. And once you have to use it, right, we will assist you in setting it up and making sure everything runs smoothly so you can use it to complete your assignments and stuff like that, right? So these are typically the support that we have here at CTS College through the University of Bedfordshire as well, right? So our BSc team, you can definitely reach out to us for any level of support, right? Because ideally we are, if not students who have finished the program, we are students currently in the program as well. I'm an example of one of those students who are like currently within this program as well, right? We do tutorials for students who have issues completing assignments, right? Totally free of cost. We do one-on-one reviews when it comes to assignments as well. Again, totally free of cost. We don't want to put that price tag behind every little thing because that's not improving the experience for the student. That's just simply adding more expenses to the student. If a student, the idea that we work with is a student does not understand, our duty as the BSc IT team is, of course, to reach out to find out what's going on, to assist where we can. And of course, if we can't do it, we will arrange someone who can. But the idea is we need you all to reach out to us. We need you all to keep that communication with us so that we can provide advice, information, we can provide help, assistance, guidance, and of course, provide valid solutions to your problems and probably point you in the right direction from time to time. Because not only from the educational standpoint, of course, if there's any issues outside of that you would like to raise with us and that's affecting your studies, we can help you with that as well. So again, our team is here and oriented for student support services. So reach out to us, take advantage of us, right? This is what we're here for. So in terms of like promotions and stuff like that, we tend to do a couple of those specifically with CTS College. Like recently we had one of those events where we had like some prizes like movie tickets and stuff like that and discounts of tuition and stuff that we had on Instagram. So we hosted an Instagram promotion. And these are typically things that we would do from time to time for our students. We want to give back to our students as well. There's actually like family fun days and stuff that we have set throughout the year, and all of our students are invited to join us and stuff like that. So we have activities as a school as well to keep you all going, to make sure that you all interact with us from time to time rather than you just be focused on studies 24/7, right? So just to free yourself up a bit as well. And we always get the best like reviews and stuff like that from a lot of our students. So these are students who are both past or even current as well. And these are just some. The amount that we receive is unbelievable. And not only for the BSc in IT, across all of our programs at CTS College, we get a lot of positive reviews with regards to that. And of course, if you have enjoyed your experience, even at the information session as well, please do share, right? We're looking for where we can best improve our quality of service to you. All right. So in terms of induction, you are introduced to the course and the structure. You have a separate session for referencing. So you have two parts of induction. Your very first session is basically covering everything you need to know about the University of Bedfordshire and CTS College and your classes. The second aspect of it, or the second session, which is another day, you would have referencing guidelines. So the University of Bedfordshire program would require you to do a lot of research. And when you're doing research, you want to make sure that the work that you're referencing is done properly and there's a specific method of referencing work that is not your own. Otherwise, it would be considered as plagiarism. So there's a specific rule, well, not rule, but there's a specific structure that you must follow when you are referencing and citing in your work, and that is done through a workshop. On the system that we use is the Harvard referencing system, so that will be covered in a separate session to induction as well, and it's mandatory for all new students to attend these sessions, both of them. Right, so we do give study tips and skills to succeed, and of course the academic writing workshop inclusive of the referencing guidelines would be done separately, right? So those are the two sessions to induction. In terms of assessments, again, you would have 2 to 3 assignments per module, and your students are typically assessed in a wide range of ways. It could be either coursework, group and individual projects, portfolios, essays, presentations, and even exams, but exams are kept on a minimal. There's like very few exams in our program. If there is an exam, it would be not so heavily weighted, so it will be like really cheap, so to speak. It will be weighted 30%, whereas your coursework, your group or individual projects, portfolios, essays, or presentations will be weighted a lot more. All right, and of course, if you have any issues or anything, or you need any assistance with your assignments as well, you can reach out to us. There's constant feedback and advice from your lecturer, and the BSc IT team as well would be a part of that. In terms of passing your units and progressing, to pass your units, you must have attempted all of the assessments unless specified otherwise. And of course, no one will specify otherwise. So make sure that you do all of your assignments. And of course, if you are late with an assignment, there's chances that you would be exempted, provided that you meet the qualifying standard. But we'll run you through that process through the induction period as well. To pass a unit, you must gain an aggregate grade of 40%, meaning that your assignment 1 grade and your assignment 2 grade must both total up to at least 40% in order to pass the unit. If you don't get that, you are considered to fail the unit. To progress between levels, level 4, level 5, and level 6, you must, 1, at least pass your 90 credits. So you must at least pass 3 units for the level with a grade of 40%. And in the module that you didn't do so well in, you must at least have scored 35% in that module overall for assignment 1 and assignment 2. Otherwise, you would not be able to progress, and you would be required to do referral assignments and stuff like that, or to resit the module depending on how bad the performance was, right? But rarely ever we have occasions of these, like maybe one student or 2 students for the entire academic year would be falling within that category, because as you would have seen earlier on, in terms of our success rate and in terms of our performance at the end of each semester in terms of the modules that were covered throughout the program as well, our pass rates are really, really high in terms of like there being like in the 90s or 80% and stuff like that. So the majority would be within the 70 to 100% grade range in most cases, but there's rarely ever a chance that a student fails a module entirely and has to repeat the entire thing. All right, so just a bit of clarification there as well. Our award classification, so like first class honors at the end of when you achieve your bachelor's degree, your first class honor would be within will basically be an average of 70% and up. Your upper second class honor would be between 60 to 69%. Your lower and second class honor would be within 50 to 59, and your third class honor would be from 40 to 49%. Now, in most cases, our students always achieve first class honors. In February this year, we would have gotten 43 students with first class honors. Our entire class for the BSc IT graduating got first class honors, which is excellent. In October, the semester just before that, we had 21 students in first class honors, 4 students with upper second, 1 student with lower second. We rarely ever got third class honors. I don't think that we ever had a first class honor, to be exact. Sorry, a third class honor to be exact. But most of our students typically fall within the first class, the upper second, in worst case, the lower second, right? As you can see here, right? Most of our students are within the first class, that being 21. Upper second is 4 students and just 1 student for lower second, right? So in terms of resources, now, if you are required to be at the college, we have Wi-Fi access, and of course we have textbooks and stuff, and anything that you would need. Of course, we have the Google Shared Drive as well. So you have all of your resources there. Now, you as a student would be required to have access to Wi-Fi, right? A direct Wi-Fi connection, of course, access to a device, a computer, a tablet, something to do your assignments, so on, right? Much more recommended to be a computer or desktop, right? And of course, where would you graduate? Now, you have 2 options for graduation. right? You can graduate with us at our ceremony, which is done at the Hyatt Regency every year in December, or you can actually graduate at the University of Bedfordshire in their ceremony in the UK, right? We actually had like a couple of students who went across, but they didn't share they didn't share similar sentiments, because like the majority of the students that they were among were persons that they did not know, and it felt a bit of out of place for them. So they actually came back and they still did the graduation ceremony with us as well at CTS College that's hosted at Hyatt. So you have both options. They are both open to you as well. If you're interested in graduating at the UOB in the UK, we can provide information on when that date would be, so you can travel across, or once you're choosing to graduate with us in our ceremony, we can make arrangements for that as well. So in terms of qualifying, our entry requirements for level 4 would be typically, again, at least 2 years IT work experience, Cape passes, any previous tertiary level qualification, IT certification, CSEC, with 2 years work experience, 1 IT certification. So if you're applying with CSEC, you would have to supplement your application with the official documentation, official certificates, by the way. You can't have any unofficial transcripts or anything like that in order to get in, right? So if you're using CSEC, you need to present at least 1 to 2 years work experience, or if you don't have that, you need to supply an IT certification. Right, so this is ideal for persons who have some IT work experience, or have Cape passes or a tertiary level qualification, or mature candidates with at least 1 to 3 years of work experience. Your evidence would be a job letter to support work experience. If you're using work experience, you would need copies of your academic certificates. We will need copies of your ID certifications if you have those, copy of your ID or passport, not driver's permit. It's not a valid form of ID as per the university's communication with us. They would need some form of national ID, that being your ID card or your passport, and of course a copy of your resume. Seen a question in chat one time. So can you apply with Cape passes in any subject, or does it have to be specifically IT? No, even as CSEC, you do not need to have IT at CSEC in order to apply. What they look at is the qualification on a whole. Like if you present your CSEC qualification, your CXC qualification, they don't look at the grades, they don't look at the subjects, they don't look at the number of subjects that you completed. They just simply want to see that you have completed secondary level education and you have a certificate to show for it. So if you have Unit 1 in Cape alone, like you did the first year in Cape, all right, and you don't have IT, it's fine. You can use Unit 1 Cape and apply, right? You don't need to finish both Unit 1 and Unit 2 to apply for this program. Right, you can, once you have the official certificate for your stuff, submit it together with your application form and the other supporting documents listed here. Yeah, so yes, you still can apply. Yeah, no problem. Right, so that's level 4. Level 5 now, you must have a level 4 IT diploma or equivalent, or Cape passes with at least 2 years IT work experience. You can have also a combination of IT work experience, at least 2 years, and of course academic and or professional qualifications. If you don't meet that qualifying standard, you will be required to start at level 4. Right, so level 5 is actually ideal for someone who has previously completed a level 4 IT qualification, certificate or diploma qualification, or persons with a combination of IT work experience who also possess professional IT certifications. Now, again, the evidence would be if you're using work experience, you need to provide a job letter or your resume. Of course, all students are basically urged to present official certificates, not like let's say like you're using your CSEC qualifications or Cape qualifications, you cannot provide screenshots from the online portal. You must provide us with like a scanned copy or like a picture of your actual certificate that you received, right? So again, in addition to that, one form of ID, whether it be your ID, your national ID card or your passport. All right, so that should cover the entry requirements to level 5. The entry requirements to level 6, or the final year, you must at least possess one of the following: a level 5 diploma in IT or equivalent, or an HND or an associate's degree in IT, or an IT related field rather, or you can have a combination of IT work experience, at least 4 years, and academic and or professional qualifications. So like if you don't have level 5 IT diploma or an HND or an associate's degree, you have work experience and you just have like some certificates that you would have done a while back, there's still a lot of chance that you could get into level 6 as well, but it must be IT related work experience. You must have something to show us as well for it, like a job letter, right? And of course we need, like, if if you have extra certificates as well in relation to IT, we can use that as well. All right. So again, evidence stands the same. Copy of job letter if you're using work experience to prove, together with your resume. You may need official copies of your academic certifications and professional certifications, and of course, one form of ID in the form of your national ID card or your passport. So those are the entry requirements for level 6. All right, so in order to apply, whether you're applying for level 4, 5, or 6, you need to fill out the application form. You can submit your CV resume to bsc@ccscollege.com or to us ideally, right? You would need to submit a letter from your employer confirming the job title and the duration of the employment in that position, right? So for your job letters, it must specifically state that the job role is a position, right? It's not contract, it's not like anything like that, right? Well, I think contract, there can be made like some exceptions made there, right? But it's totally fine if you supply something that's a bit outdated as well, right? They just simply want to see something that can prove that you would have, worked at that position for XYZ amount of years, whatever the case might be, right? So again, it must state the duration of the employment in that position, and it must confirm the job title, right? And of course, submit a copy of your transcripts and certificates. Now, a question here from a lot of students is that, well, I didn't receive my certificate yet. They would have studied with some other institution and they got a diploma in IT and they didn't get their official cert yet. So like a lot of students did something with UTT and they didn't get their certs yet and they just have their unofficial transcript from UTT. Fine. Submit for us your your unofficial transcript, and we can have it forwarded to university. And once you get your official certificate, you would need to send us ASAP so we can update the application and just update the university. But we would be sending your application with unofficial transcripts until you can get your hands on your official certificate, which can then be used to support your application further. Right, so that's a lot of things. So yes, you can use unofficial transcripts, right? But you must ensure that you update us with the official certificate once you receive it, or official transcript once you receive it, to further your application. Do you have to submit a CV if you don't have any job experience? No, you don't. Well, I mean, most students, they typically what they would do is do a personal statement, right? Outlining things that they would have done on like perhaps like part-time, probably self-employed, some stuff like they do as a hobby, but they earn money from it, that kind of thing, right? So persons do like resumes and stuff outlining those kinds of things. So if you're interested in doing something like that as well, right, it does work specifically with this university, right? They just want to see that you're active within a workforce, right? That's ideally what they're trying to achieve here with regards to that. And of course, the qualifications as well. They need something to confirm that you actually, you did what it is you said you did. That's all, right? But no, you don't have to. You don't have to, right? Now, if you are using your work experience as a solid pillar in your application, then yes. Otherwise, no. If you have a level 4 IT diploma, it makes no sense applying your job letter because you already have an IT diploma, which is meeting the qualifying standard, right? So no problems there. So these are the steps between applying and starting. So ideally, right, you would start at the application process. So you would be filling out that application form, sending it to us, and we would then send it to the university. Now, within a 2 to 3 week period, the university would return to us with an acceptance letter. And of course, we would return that to you. And after that point, you would have the opportunity to do one of 3 things. You have the opportunity to decline the offer entirely. You have an opportunity to decline the offer, but start at a later semester. So you're not starting right away, basically. Or you have the opportunity to start right away. And once you start right away and you choose that option, we would then register student for the course and stuff like that, and then you would be required to make payments so that we can finalize registration with the university, and your classes would begin on the 21st of Jan 2023, which is a Saturday. You'll be required to sit in, of course, to your induction sessions prior, And of course, you'll be added to our CTS WhatsApp groups, etc. And you'll be on our records for a student who is currently enrolled. But if you decline the offer and you choose to start in a future semester, we will keep track of the application. But remember, your acceptance letter is only valid for 1 academic year. So if you don't use it within 3 semesters, you don't start, right? You will need to reapply, but it shouldn't be a big problem because you were accepted before, you will be accepted again. All right. So these are the steps between applying and starting. So you are currently at the application process. Well, at least most of you are, because I'm seeing some names here that I did actually receive applications from already. All right. So for the rest of you, the application form would be forwarded after the session as well, together with the recording and stuff like that. All that good stuff. If you need help filling out that application form, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. All right. So now we are at the cost aspect. How much will it cost? Now, we outline the cost for each level, right? Each level of the program. So we calculated based on the number of units that you would be doing. And all throughout the program, each level you're required to do 4 units, right? So each semester, you're required to do 2 out of that 4 units. So you can pay the entire level fee upfront, you can pay per semester upfront, or you can be on a monthly payment plan per semester, right? So you have 3 options for payments. And if you're looking to do like the monthly payment plans as well, that's going to be outlined in the next set of slides that we have to present. But in terms of the total cost for this program overall, it's going to cost you anywhere from 54 to 56,000, depending on where you start. So if you start at level 4 and you go all the way to level 6 throughout the 2-year, 8-month period that you will be studying, right, it will be a total cost of 54 to 56,000 TT. So that's inclusive of the pounds as well as the TT. So just to look at how it's calculated, right? So over here, let me see if I can get my pen tool to start probably highlighting while I'm going, right? So at level 4, you could see that the number of units here, right, it's 4. Then we have our CTS registration fee, and this is paid per semester, right? And remember, each level consists of 2 semesters, and you're only doing 2 units at a time per semester, right? So this figure is actually times 2, right? So your registration fee per level is $1,000. Then you have $2,000 per unit or per subject, and you're studying 4 modules or 4 units or 4 subjects per level, right? So that should cost you 8,000. So we have 8,000 from here, and then 1,000 for registration for the entire level. So that's 9,000 TT, right? So that's 9,000 TT, our TT figure. And then of course the university fee stands at a steady rate of £150 per module, and you're studying 4 modules. So that'll be £600. So 9,000 TT, £600 for the entire level 4. So that should be roughly that's roughly 15,000. Yeah, that's roughly 15,000 TT dollars if we convert this pound figure here, right, to TT, right? Because at a rate of 10 to 1 as well, but usually it will be a bit less because the rate constantly fluctuates as well, right? Yeah, so this is in TT and pounds. So like this figure calculated below here, right, is your total figure if you are starting at level 4 and going all the way down to level 6, right? So you start at level 4 and you progress all the way to level 6, your total figure will be $54,450. That's inclusive of the pounds converted to TT and the TT fees as well, right? So that's our total rate. But the one that's a bit more attractive for you as well is the payment plan, because this is how most students typically pay their fees on a payment plan. So here's the cost of the BSc IT level 4. All right, so if you're a level 4 applicant, you should be paying very close attention to your payment plan. So the same structure is duplicated over both semesters. We have semester 1, which is the first block up here, and then we have semester 2, which is the second block below here, right? So 2 semesters make up a level, right? So at the beginning of your semester, right, your start of the semester, this whole row going across here, right? You have your registration fee of $500 that we encourage students to pay. Then we have your tuition fee of $1,000, right? And then we encourage students to pay £150 at the start of the semester as well. So your first monthly payment to start this program is 1,500 TT and £150. So that is probably kickstarting with roughly that would be roughly, that was 100 and all right, so that's 1,500. So roughly $3,000 you're kickstarting your BSc with for the first month payment, right? Now, if you don't want to pay the pounds up here, fine, you can actually shift these down, right? because there's actually space down here in the third month and the fourth month that you can actually move these payments down to, right? So if you can't make this figure at the beginning, right, forget about it, because we can actually put back this payment down here and you can pay that 150 pounds from the second month and the third month, and then from the fourth month you could think, or you can steadily pay like a smaller amount as well every month until you could pay that final figure, which is 4,500 TT and 300 pounds, right? So ideally, this is customizable in terms of when you can pay a university fee as well, right? But at the end of it, you are ideally paying $1,000 per month, right? For 4 months, with the exception, of course, at the start of the semester with the registration fee, which would be 1,500. And it's really simple, right? So you have now made, after following this payment plan, right? You have basically covered 4,500 TT and 300 pounds for semester 1. And that should clear you out for semester 1. The same structure is done for semester 2. Again, these payments could be shifted down, right? And of course, the total is the same, right? So at the end of level 4, remember that figure that we calculated earlier on, 9,000 TT and 600 pounds. Once you follow your payment plan for both semesters, you would cover the total for your level 4 tuition entirely, right? So again, customizable. And if this does not meet your demand, we will be more than happy to tailor something specifically for you. So forget about that, and forget about that. We can have something specifically made out for you if the need arises, right? So that is not on a case-to-case basis though, but just reach out to us if you have something that you would like to propose or something that you would like to discuss. We'll be more than happy to work out with you, right? Because we understand that there's a lot of financial challenge in today's society, and we want to make sure that we are doing all that we can to assist students, at least the financial aspect of it as well, right? So in terms of the total cost for level 5, following a monthly payment plan, the tuition goes up. Whereas it was in level 4, $2,000 per module is now $2,250 per module TT, and the pounds remain the same, right? So again, at the beginning of the semester, 500 registration, we would, since we're now working with a larger figure for tuition, right, we're encouraging students to pay $1,125 per month for 4 months, right? But at the beginning, we're adding that 500 TT together with your tuition fee payment. And if you'd like, you can pay your 150 pounds here as well. So your first monthly payment can look something like this, right? Again, these pounds could be shifted down below, so you can pay this in your second and third month or your third and fourth month, right? But at the end, you should be able to achieve this figure here, which is 5,000 TT, 300 pounds for your first semester and second semester, because the structure remains the same. And at the end of it, you should have achieved your total figure for level 5, which is 10,000 TT, 600 pounds, right? Or roughly 16,000 TT dollars. All right. And that should be payable over the course of, well, each semester is 4 months, right? So this figure is payable over the course of 8 months. And again, if you can't make this, then forget about it. We can actually tailor something specifically for you. All right. So level 6 payment is a bit different since the price goes up again. So in level 5 is 2,250. In level 6 is $2,500 per module TT, that's CTS charges for tuition. And our registration fee remains standard at 500 TT. So your first payment can look something like this: 1,750 TT and 375 pounds as well. The pounds figure actually goes up. So in level 4 and 5, it's 150 pounds per module. In level 6, it's 375 pounds per module since it's the final year. Now, given that this is the case, right, we encourage students to split this payment a bit further so that in your third and fourth month as well, you do still cover some of that university fee, right? So you can shift these down, again, customizable, but at the end, you should be working towards finishing your semester total, which is 5,500 TT and 750 pounds. This same structure is brought over to your second semester in level 6. And at the end of it, you should be achieving your total figure, which is 11,000 TT and 1,500 pounds at the end of level 6, right? So following the payment plan, you can achieve this. And again, if this is not going to work out for you, fine. Let us know that what exactly would work out for you, and we'll be more than happy to work with you on making that happen, right? So these are the payment plan structures for level 4, 5, and 6. We look at the total cost for the program as well, and that's pretty much it in the cost aspect of it. Now, in terms of the special offer, because a lot of students would have seen something somewhere about the special offer about our program. Now, applicants would receive up to $1,000 TT off their tuition fees. So you can get $250 off tuition per module, which of course special conditions apply, right? So you have met the first criteria. All 10 or 11 of you who are in the session right now, you have met the criteria in terms of the first qualifying standard. You are at an information session. The second thing is that you must submit your completed application form with all supporting documents by the 23rd of December, which is next week, Friday. And you're sending your application and supporting documents to bsc@ctscollege.com. Right, this semester's registration, tuition, and university fees must also be paid in full by January 21st, and we will apply the $1,000 off depending on the payments made to the modules as well. If it's not done within that semester, it would be totaled up and carried over to your second semester, so that you will have a bigger discount in your second semester that will cover both semester 1 and 2 for all 4 units, right? So that's typically how it's done, right? So if you're interested in qualifying for the special offer as well, be my guest, right? But these are the qualifying standards. Now, in terms of when you would be starting, right? The semester start date is again the 21st of January. You have the induction sessions on the 14th or the 18th of January as well, respectively. You need to be there for both of them, right? So the application process is outlined. If you have any questions or concerns, now will be the time to ask before we move on to the next aspect of our presentation today. Any questions, concerns here about the BSc? I most definitely would be more than happy to do so for you. Just let me see if I can pull back the slide. So application must be sent in before next week, Friday, which is the 23rd of December. And you must pay your semester's registration, tuition, and university fees by the start of classes, really. So the 21st of Jan, right? So if you want to pay out for the entire semester, your very first semester, you will get the discount as well. Right, so $250 off each unit. So you'll be studying 2 units per semester, so you'll get $500 off semester 1. If you do the same thing for semester 2, another $500 off there as well, right? So it would go there as well throughout the progression. So it's not something for like new students only. Like if a student is currently enrolled and they want to pay their tuition upfront, we would apply the special discount for them as well, right? So you get $250 off each unit if you pay the semester fee upfront. Cool. No problem. So if there's no further questions, I'd like to move on to the second part of the presentation as well. And this part of the presentation is a bit more attractive for the students who are recent CSEC graduates, those who think that they don't meet the entry requirements to start the BSc, or they don't think that they're ready to start the BSc. We actually have a bridging program. And what this is about is that this is ideal for students who just came out of secondary school who are seeking to pursue a qualification in information technology, not necessarily or BSc in IT, but you can still do this program if you want general information on the topics covered. So if you're looking to get in though to our BSc in IT, we recommend that you do this program. So what we're looking to do, or what we have done, is that we have 5 individual courses, each of which introduces the student to an area within the field of information technology, right? So each course runs for a period of 4 weeks. So you'll have 4 classes and you'll have 4 assignments. So at the end of each class, you would have an assignment that you have to submit for the following week. Right? So all of the courses are ideally practical with weekly assignments solving real-life problems as well. Each course in the bridging program is actually linked to units in the BSc in IT at level 4. So you have the opportunity to get a little bit of insight of what will be covered in level 4 in the BSc in IT, but you're doing it at a bit lower level. All right. And of course, upon completion of each one of the courses, you'll be receiving an individual certificate for each one. So we have 5 courses. If you do all 5, you'll be getting 5 individual courses for each course that you complete. All right. So these are the courses. We have a Java course, a Python, a networking fundamentals, a web design, and a database design. Right. So ideally, we recommend that students take all 5, because if you're moving on to the BSc, right, all 5 of these things would be covered there, and it's better to be prepared rather than not. And when you're applying, because ideally you are using the certificates that you obtain for these courses to put together with your BSc IT application to apply for their program, right? So basically, we're trying to help you guys out here in terms of IT, like developing a bit more skills, technical skills in relation to IT as well. So you have the opportunity to do any one of the 5 courses, or basically to do all 5, and you'll be getting certificates which you can then use to apply for the BSc in IT. And yes, you stand a really higher, but a much higher chance to get through, as opposed to just simply using your CCI qualifications alone. All right. So these are basically the start and end dates that we have for each one of the courses. Our very first course starts on February the 1st, and that will be Python, the introduction to Python programming here, right? And then following that, we would have on the 2nd of February, our database design fundamentals. So these are the first 2 courses that will be starting, right? And then they are actually staggered. So you don't have like a course, a class for a course every single day, right? We would have 2 that would run first, like introduction to Python and then database design. And then once these are finished, then the next 2 would start, which would be networking fundamentals and introduction to web design, right? So you can see from February, you're going to do these 2, right? And then from March, the next 2 would start when these 2 would be finished, right? And then after that, now after these 2 finish, you would have your final one, which is Java programming, which starts near the end of March, right? And would end near April, right? And all of the classes would be from 6 to 9, right? But it would just simply be on different days, right? And these are actually staggered. So if you see like a Wednesday and a Wednesday here, you're not going to have 2 classes on a Wednesday. If you look at the date as well and the month that it's starting is different. So we've staggered them because we don't want students to be faced with too much assignments or too much things to do at once, right? So you're going to be doing 2 at a time until those 2 are finished, right? You wouldn't have to do anything else. When those 2 are finished, then the other 2 would start and you'll have the ability to do those as well, right? So those are for students who are doing all 5. Now, if you're doing just one, your instructions are simple. You attend class by your start date and end date, you do your assignments, right? And of course, we're looking to host induction as well, but we'll have to confirm the date for induction on orientation as well for the bridging program, right? So that will be sent off a bit, coming closer to those who apply, right? The information will be sent across. So how exactly do you apply for this program? Or a bit before we even get into that, I think a bit further into the cost aspect as well, which we did touch on a bit during the BSc session. Our goal is to provide the students with these courses so that they can obtain individual certificates. Now, if you're looking to probably just do 1 or 2, depending on which one and stuff like that, the individual price per course stands at $1,000. So if you want to do just Java and Python, right, you would be charged $1,000 each, $1,000 per course, right? However, if you're doing all 5 on the right-hand side, if you're taking that bundle, you get 30% off each course. So you'll be getting each course for $700 instead of $1,000. So if you were to do individual courses over like the different time frames or the different cycles that we have, you'll be paying roughly 5,000 TT. But if you do it all in one cycle, you will be saving a lot of cash, right? Your total cost will be 3,500, right? So you'll be saving a lot more. So my recommendation is that you do the all 5 in one cycle. All right. So that's the options that we have as well, right? And in terms of the payment plans, now, you're not required to pay all of those fees up front, depending the amount of course that you would have enrolled for as well, right? We would encourage you to make a 50% payment upfront, right? So you could pay half of the amount upfront, and then throughout your duration of the remainder of the courses, you can pay 25 and then 25 again to clear that off, or you could pay 25 upfront and then split it accordingly as well. Again, we're trying to be as flexible as we can with this payment plan as well. So if you're not comfortable with this at all, right, we would be willing to work something out with you specifically on a case-to-case basis, right? But ideally, we recommend that 50% upfront and then 25% at the start of month 2 and another 25% at the start of month number 3. All right. So ideally, that's pretty much it in terms of the cost and a payment plan for the bridging program. How do you apply and register? You must fill out the registration form for the CTS IT bridging program and send the completed document via email to bsc@ctscollege.com, right? I would have the application form or the registration form for the BSc IT program and the bridging program forwarded to you after the session, so you can download it, have it filled out. There's no need to actually print and fill it out and scan it and then send it, you can actually just simply type into the fields. If you have your laptop on you, you can just simply edit your application form and send it across without having to print, sign, and scan and send back, right? And we're a bit further into registration. To confirm registration, you must make sure that you make some sort of payment before February the 1st, when the first course will be starting. All right. So any questions here with regards to the BSc in IT or the bridging program?
Hi, morning. I was wondering what the workload is like because I realized that you have maybe 2 or 3 classes for the week. So I'm wondering how much, if there's time to do other stuff during that period for the BSc.
For the BSc. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm a working individual. I'm currently at level 5 in the BSc, and I'll share with you as well. So yes, it may be difficult for working individuals, but it's not impossible. We have tons of students who do this all the time, right? So work and study is no easy feat, but students do it regardless. But the workload though, your first assignment isn't due until like basically a whole month inside your first semester. So you don't have anything to worry for the first month. From the time that you start classes, we would have the assignment deadlines up and ready for you. So you'll know which dates you are working for per module. So for your first module, let's say that you have assignment 1 and assignment 2, right? Assignment 1 will be due about after the first month or so, mid way in the second month or something like that. And then at the end of the semester, your assignment 2, or the bigger assignment, would be due, right? But our classes are tailored specifically for preparing you for the assignment whilst covering content. So at the end of each class, you would ideally be recommended to start working on your stuff from the very start of class. So if you follow with the instructions on our guides and stuff like that, you would be able to start and complete your project in a timely manner. So it's all about you playing around with your schedule, what works best for you as well, because it differs from person to person, but it's definitely doable. The workload isn't heavy, right? If you manage your time, that's probably the best answer I can give. But if there's exemptions needed for your assignments, like if you can't make it and you're going to be late with it, there's a process called mitigation, which would allow you to apply for extensions, and your assignment could be marked without any penalty for late submission. So you typically get 7 days. If you provide like some sort of medical evidence, if you have like a medical issue, you would get 14 days extension, calendar days from the original deadline. So let's say I have an assignment due tomorrow, right? 7 days from tomorrow would be next week Friday. So my assignment will be next week Friday if I don't supply medical certificate or something like that, or sick leave or something like that to support the mitigation request. Now, if I supply some sort of medical documentation, I can get 14 days from the original due date. So those are basically what we have in place for students if they know that they're going to be late. So if you know you're going to be late, reach out to us and we can assist you in applying for the extension. All right, but we're encouraging students to at least try their best to meet the deadline beforehand, because if everyone applies for mitigation, then it's going to be a heck of a time for everyone. And you're only allowed 3 mitigation requests, I believe, per semester or academic year. I can't remember the rule of thumb, but really our students take mitigation for silly reasons, right? Because most of them, they play around their schedule, they manage to submit their work in time and stuff like that. But again, if you need a bit more advice or anything like that, once you start or you're looking towards starting as well, I'm open to have like conversations with you as well. Just to give you an example as well, we have like a student who works Sunday to Sunday, like whole day, and then his work is only to be done in the nighttime. So he misses classes if it's done on a nighttime. And he has the ability now, he reviews the recordings, he did everything, and he actually is one of our top performers as well at level 4. And he's currently on his semester break waiting to start level 5. So if he can do it, I'm pretty sure that anyone in this room right now can definitely do that. All right, so here's the thing about our classes, right? So the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago wrote us, as well as the University of Bedfordshire, they wrote us and they indicated that they would like for us to do face-to-face and online. Now, if we choose to do that, it would be presented as an option for the student. So you have the ability to choose when you are enrolling whether you like online classes with CTS or would you like face-to-face classes with CTS. But sharing the same sentiments with students, everyone prefers the online. Why? Because it's a lot more convenient for us as a student to just simply pick up a device and just automatically be in class. And then our lecturers as well, not having to drive, because we have lecturers from Tobago, we have lecturers from a bit further down into south and a bit up north, and our campus is based in Shogunas, Central. So it's going to be difficult for all of our lecturers to be on time for class every single time there is a class. So online is the best suited option that we have. But in the event that we do have to present the option, right, we would have the students, probably be open to choosing whether they want face-to-face or online. But right now, since we haven't gone through any further discussion about that process, everything is online. I can't say for next semester, I can't say for the semester after that, but for the semester starting in February, everything is to be remaining online. And if we do happen to transition to both face-to-face and online, we will inform you guys of this as well, right? So there's no worries there. But yes, all of the classes are online and they are recorded. The notes are sent to you as well after the class by the lecturer together with the recording. All right, any further questions, guys?
No, but great information.
Sorry?
I say no, but the information was very informative. Thank you.
No problem. It's been my pleasure having the ability to sit with you all on this lovely Saturday morning and run through this program as well. And I'm encouraging you guys, if you have any issues or if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me, because I know that there's a bunch of individuals that may be a bit shy to probably share their voice or even their opinions on chat as well. So if you prefer to speak with me or any one of the individuals on screen, you can contact us. And of course, when you're sending your application, you're sending it to bsc@ctscollege.com, or you can WhatsApp it to any one of us as well, right? Seeing that I've conducted this session as well, I prefer if you WhatsApp it to me, because I'll be on throughout the weekend as well, trying to tidy up, since we're trying to meet our tight application deadline of next week, Friday. All right, so do let me know if there's anything that I can do for you or anything that we can do for you here at CTS College to make sure that your application is sent across, right? Any questions, concerns, anything, contact me, contact us. Right, so you can take a screenshot or take some sort of record of the contact numbers, the names of the individuals on screen together with their email address and of course our group email address. Specific applications, yes, but those will be specified and they are actually provided. So like if you need a paid software, we have license or keys that you can use that are valid for all students. So everything is supplied to you. All right, so there's no instance of where you would need to purchase anything additional to just simply having a laptop and Wi-Fi access. All of the content, all of the books, all of the everything is provided. Yeah, so yeah, there would be applications, but we would provide them. If not us, the university would, and if we don't have it and it's required, CTS College will pay for it for our students, right? So no problem. Yeah. Cool. All right, so guys, thank you so much for attending our online information session this morning. Oh, another question. So what payment methods do you use for overseas students wire transfer? Even though it's not recommended, because the typical issue where there is like the amount the student pay is not the amount that we receive or the amount that the university receives, that actually stands. All fees are payable through CTS College, by the way. We have both a TT account and a GBP account set up to facilitate payments for pounds and TT separately, and we bank with First Citizens. So with the wire transfer, what happens is that when you transfer the fees, it goes to an intermediary bank and then fees are deducted for the transaction before it gets to us in our account. So the amount that you pay would never be the amount that we receive. So it's not recommended that you do wire transfer, right? We do accept cash in GBP as well, but you must make sure that it is the polymer notes, not the old the cotton notes. right? It's polymer, so it's a lot similar to what our TT dollars now look like, right? So those are now being distributed by banks like Scotia, Republic, whatever the case might be, right? But for overseas students, the only option they seem to have is wire transfer. If you are a First Citizens customer, right, you can do something called direct deposit. So you can add us as a payee and just simply transfer the fees directly to our account, or you can have the TT equivalent. If you're paying your pounds, you can have the TT equivalent in your account. So like, let's say you're paying £100, you must have at least $1,000 in TT in your account, and then you can simply request that, you know, you want £100 transferred over into CTS's account, and it is deducted as TT from your account and is transferred to GBP as into our account, right? So we would receive it. So it's a simple transaction as well, but it's only done for First Citizens to First Citizen accounts. Yeah. Credit card payments as well, facilitated in office. We have a machine on board to facilitate card payments, Links credit card at our main office as well, right? Oh, you don't have the bank there, right? But yes, we'll provide the account numbers as well, so you can do those wire transfers. Yeah, so it would be provided. It actually would be provided on the email I'll send after the session, right? So you can just check out the stuff there. You'll be able to see, and of course, once we have the application stuff out of the way and you're looking towards registration and payments, we would advise you on, well, of course, setting up the payment plan, right? So we can know what we'll be doing here forward, and of course, facilitating payment and stuff like that. We will have to go over that with you in any case, right? So it would be provided to you. Sure. Well, it's really wonderful to know that we have students right within our region reaching out to do this program with CTS College. Right, it's such a wonderful experience as well, having these students on board. Right, we currently have a couple of students from Jamaica, and they are doing fabulous within this program. Right, so guys, any further questions before we close off? Okay, I'll take that as a no. But again, open to any questions after the session, so you can call me directly at that number. That's 286-0862. Or since we have some students not from Trinidad and Tobago, that's +1 868 286 0862. All right. So any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out to any one of the individuals on screen. As for now, guys, thank you so much for attending our free online information session this morning. And I do hope you have a wonderful Saturday afternoon ahead. All right. Take care, everyone.